Welcome back to the channel. Today's amazing journey into the world of rare and historical U.S. coins. In this story, we'll uncover the complete history of the 1985 P. Washington quarter dollar, a coin that may look ordinary at first glance, but holds decades of American heritage, artistry, and hidden collector value. From its creation at the Philadelphia Mint to its modern-day worth, we'll explore every detail that makes this small piece of metal a true symbol of American history. Top 5 first up. The Washington Quarter series began in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by John Flanagan, the obverse features a profile of Washington, while the reverse shows an eagle with outstretched wings. Over time, some design and composition changes occurred, but the general profile remained until 1999, when the state quarters program replaced the eagle reverse. The 1985 P refers to the Washington quarter minted in 1985 at the Philadelphia Mint, hence the P mint mark. Quarters from Philadelphia in 1985 were part of regular circulating coinage, not proof sets or special issues. In 1985, the composition of the Washington quarter remained the same as for most post-1965 quarters, a clad coin with outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. This gives the coin its characteristic copper-nickel, silver-colored appearance, though they are not made of silver. The diameter of the coin is 24.3 millimeters. The weight is approximately 5.67 grams, matching the standard specifications for Washington quarters of that era. Edge, reeded, i.e. with grooves. The designer on the obverse is John Flanagan, whose original portrait was slightly modified in earlier years, but in 1985 was his design. Mintage numbers. The Philadelphia Mint struck 775,818,962 Washington quarters in 1985. This makes it a very high mintage year, meaning many of these coins were made, so they are fairly common in circulation. Because of that very large mintage, the 1985 P. Washington quarters are not rare. Many remain in circulation, though some have been saved by collectors. The condition of surviving specimens ranges all the way from heavily worn to nearly uncirculated. In terms of value, for most circulated pieces, the 1985 P. Washington quarter is only worth a small premium over its face value, 25 cents, depending on condition, in uncirculated condition or better grades, and especially with strong luster and minimal wear, they command higher prices, though still modest relative to rare coins. Special varieties and errors. Collectors watch for minting errors, misstrikes, double dies, planchet issues, etc. For the 1985 P, there are no widely known dramatic rare varieties, but like many coins, weak strikes, die cracks, or unusual toning might raise interest. The coin circulated widely in the mid-1980s, being used every day for commerce. Over time, many became worn, lost luster, or got scratched. Others were kept by collectors. Because the metal content, copper-nickel clad, is not especially valuable, there was no melting for intrinsic metal profit, unlike silver coins. So many remained in existence. The historical context. 1985 in the United States was a period of relative economic stability. Inflation was moderate, and coin production continued at high volumes to meet demand for everyday usage. Coin rolling, vending machines, parking meters, etc. all use quarters. The design. The obverse shows Washington's bust facing left, with the motto Liberty above, and In God We Trust to the side, plus the date 1985. The reverse, which was standard until 1999, bears the perched eagle with outspread wings atop a bundle of arrows, flanked by olive branches, with United States of America and quarter dollar round the rim. Mint mark. Philadelphia coins in this era often had no mint mark for many coin types, or had a P depending on the year/type. The 1985 Washington quarter from Philadelphia has the P mint mark. This helps distinguish it from the Denver D and San Francisco proof. S. Issues. Proof and special issues. There are proof versions of the 1985 Washington quarter, made at San Francisco, S mint mark, but the regular P strikes were for circulation, so their finish is matte/normal, not mirror-like. Thus, proof coins are visually distinct and generally more valued among collectors, collecting interest, Because many 1985 P quarters survive, collectors interested in completing sets for date, mint marks, condition often include the 1985 P. It's not a key date or famous rarity, but good quality examples are desired. Coins are certified by NGC, PCGS, etc. in mint state MS60, MS65+. Grades are especially sought after by those who want pristine condition. Grading. Typical grading terms used include good, fine, very fine, extremely fine, about uncirculated, mint state, etc. For 1985, P. Washington quarters, circulated grades, good through extremely fine, are common, and the value difference between grades is significant. A coin in MS65 may fetch many times what a worn one does, even though both were minted in the same year. Cultural and numismatic significance. The Washington quarter has become iconic in U.S. coinage. While the 1985 issue isn't exceptional or extraordinarily rare, it represents the durability of a long-running series. It also reflects minting technology in the 1980s, the use of clad coinage, and public demand for small change in a pre-digital payments age. Today, to a collector, a 1985 P. Washington quarter's value depends heavily on condition, presence of mint luster, absence of damage, etc. In circulated condition, it might be valued modestly, perhaps a few tens of cents to a few dollars, whereas uncirculated or certified mint state examples can be worth significantly more. For someone completing a coin collection, the 1985 P is standard but still essential. Next up today, where we explore the rarest, most valuable, and historically rich coins from the United States. In today's video, we'll uncover the complete history of the 1986 P Washington quarter dollar Liberty coin. This quarter may look ordinary, but its story, design, and value in today's collector's market make it a fascinating piece of American history. The 1986 P Washington quarter was minted by the United States Mint at the Philadelphia Mint, represented by the P Mint mark. It's part of the long-running Washington quarter series, which began in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. By 1986, the coin had already become one of the most recognized and widely circulated denominations in the United States. This coin bears a portrait of George Washington, the first president of the United States, designed by sculptor John Flanagan. The obverse side of the coin features Washington's left-facing bust, accompanied by the inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and the minting year 1986. The design reflects the nation's values of freedom and faith, while paying tribute to man who led America to independence. The reverse side of the 1986 quarter showcases a majestic bald eagle with outstretched wings, clutching a bundle of arrows in its talons, a powerful symbol of the United States' strength and readiness to defend liberty. Surrounding the eagle are the words, United States of America, e pluribus unum, meaning out of many one, and the denomination quarter dollar. This classic design remained in use until 1998, before the state quarters program began. In 1986, over 551 million quarters were minted in Philadelphia alone. Because of such a large mintage, most 1986 P quarters are considered common in circulation. However, their true value lies not just in their quantity, but in their condition, rarity of errors, and collector demand. High-grade examples in coins with striking errors can be worth far more than their face value. The composition of the 1986 P quarter is a copper-nickel clad, meaning it consists of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core. This change was first introduced in 1965, replacing the older 90% silver quarters. Therefore, while the 1986 P quarter doesn't contain silver, it still holds great historical and collectible significance due to its enduring design and mint quality. Collectors often seek 1986 quarters in mint state condition, graded by professional coin services such as PCGS or NGC. A coin graded MS65 or higher can command a premium price because of its sharp strike, brilliant luster, and lack of wear. These coins represent the best examples from their mintage and are cherished by serious numismatists. Interestingly, the Philadelphia Mint did not always include a mint mark on its coins prior to 1980. However, from 1980 onwards, the P mark began to appear on most denominations, including the quarter. Thus, the 1986 P Washington quarter stands as part of the early generation of coins carrying the P mark, making it a notable identifier for collectors tracking minting history. Now, let's talk about errors and varieties, which make certain 1986 quarters extremely valuable. Some coins were struck with off-center errors, double dies, or weak strikes, leading to noticeable differences on the lettering or date. These rare minting mistakes can turn a simple 25-cent piece into a coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars to the right collector. One of the most sought-after varieties is the double die obverse, where details like Liberty or In God We Trust appear doubled due to a misalignment during the minting process. Another rare find includes die cracks or fill die errors, creating raised lines or missing letters on the coin surface. Each of these errors tells a unique story from the mint floor in 1986. When it comes to market value, an average circulated 1986 P Washington quarter is worth 25 cents, but in uncirculated condition, it can range from $2 to $10. However, coins graded MS-67 or MS-68 by PCGS or NGC have sold for over $300 to $1,500, depending on their eye appeal and rarity. Error coins, especially double dies or off-center strikes, can exceed $2,000 in auctions. Collectors are drawn to the 1986 quarter not only for its potential value, but for its historical importance. This was a time when the U.S. Mint maintained high production quality, and the Washington quarter remained a proud symbol of national unity and tradition. The combination of classic artistry and modern minting techniques makes it a bridge between the old and new eras of American coinage. In terms of design continuity, the Washington quarter from 1986 represents the final decades of the original Eagle Reverse before the state quarters program began in 1999, which revolutionized U.S. coin collecting. Therefore, owning a 1986 P quarter is like holding a piece of the nation's minting heritage right before one of the biggest transitions in American coin design history. Many collectors enjoy finding 1986 P quarters in change, unaware that some might be worth far more than face value. It's always worth checking your coins for mint errors, die cracks, or unusually sharp details. Even a simple roll of quarters could hide a valuable piece of numismatic treasure from this era. The 1986 P Washington quarter stands as a tribute to American liberty, leadership, and endurance. Though it may not shine with silver, it shines with history, representing a time when coinage was both functional and artistic. It reminds us of the values that built the United States: faith, freedom, and perseverance. So, the next time you come across a 1986 P Washington quarter, take a closer look. You might be holding a small but powerful piece of American legacy, one that could also be worth surprising fortune. Next up, the 1988 D Washington quarter dollar holds a special place in the long and storied history of American coinage. Minted during a time of steady economic growth in the United States, this coin continues the proud tradition of featuring George Washington, the nation's first president, on the obverse. The D mint mark, located just to the right of Washington's ponytail, indicates that this particular coin was struck at the Denver Mint. It remains an important piece of modern U.S. currency history and a symbol of American liberty. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Originally intended as a one-year commemorative issue, it was so well received that it became a permanent circulating coin. The design by John Flanagan, featuring a profile of Washington based on a bust by Jean-Antoine Adon, became one of the most enduring images in U.S. numismatic history, continuing until the State Quarter series began in 1999. By 1988, the Washington quarter had been in continuous production for more than 5 decades. The coin had undergone small design modifications over the years, but the overall look remained faithful to Flanagan's original vision. The 1988 D issue represents one of the final years before the introduction of the 50 State Quarters program, making it part of the last generation of the classic Washington quarter design. The obverse of the 1988 D quarter showcases George Washington facing left, with the word liberty above his head and the phrase, "In God We Trust," placed to the left. Beneath Washington's portrait is the date 1988, indicating the year of minting. The design reflects America's deep respect for its founding father and the ideals of liberty and democracy that Washington helped establish. The reverse design of the 1988 D quarter features a majestic bald eagle with its wings spread wide, clutching a bundle of arrows, symbolizing strength and readiness to defend the nation. Below the eagle are two olive branches, representing peace. The inscriptions United States of America and E Pluribus Unum appear above the eagle, while quarter dollar is inscribed below. This combination of power and peace remains one of the most meaningful artistic statements in U.S. coin design. The 1988 D Washington quarter is composed primarily of copper and nickel. Its outer layers are copper-nickel alloy bonded to a pure copper core. The coin weighs 5.67 grams and measures 24.3 millimeters in diameter. This clad composition was first introduced in 1965, replacing the 90% silver content previously used. The transition marked a significant moment in U.S. coinage history, reflecting the country's need to conserve silver resources. The Denver Mint, where the 1988 D quarters were produced, has been an essential part of U.S. coin manufacturing since the early 20th century. In 1988 alone, the Denver Mint struck over 596 million Washington quarters. This large mintage means that while the coin is common in circulation, pristine examples with sharp details and brilliant luster can be worth far more to collectors. Collectors and numismatists often search for high-grade examples of the 1988 D Washington quarter. Coins graded MS65 or higher by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC can be significantly more valuable than circulated ones. In pristine mint state condition, these coins can fetch prices ranging from a few dollars to over $50, depending on strike quality and eye appeal. One of the main attractions of the 1988 D quarter lies in its potential for rare errors and varieties. Some examples display off-center strikes, double dies, or clipped planchets. These minting errors are highly sought after by collectors, as they represent anomalies in the coin production process. A genuine and dramatic mint error on a 1988 D Washington quarter can raise its value to hundreds of dollars. The overall quality of the 1988 D quarters varied, as the Denver Mint produced them in very large quantities. Some pieces display weak strikes or worn dies, resulting in softer details on Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers. However, well-struck specimens with full details stand out beautifully under magnification and are especially desirable for high-grade collections. In the late 1980s, the United States Mint continued to modernize its production technology. Coin presses became faster and more precise, improving the consistency of coins like the 1988 D quarter. Despite this, minor imperfections still occurred, creating the kind of collectible varieties that excite coin enthusiasts today. The 1988 D quarter also represents a bridge between two major eras in American coinage. It came just before the technological and design revolution of the 1990s, when the state quarters program began to captivate millions of new collectors. As such, this coin marks in an era in which the eagle reverse reigned supreme for over 6 decades. Although it is not made of silver, the 1988 D quarter carries great sentimental and historical value. It serves as a reminder of the nation's enduring respect for George Washington and symbolizes American ideals such as liberty, unity, and perseverance. For many collectors, it represents a piece of everyday history that connects the modern era with the founding principles of the United States. Today, the 1988 D Washington quarter is widely collected as part of a complete set of clad quarters from the 1965 to 1998 period. It remains easy to find in circulation, but finding one in flawless, uncirculated condition is a challenge that rewards patience and attention to detail. Such coins are preserved in albums, folders, and slabs by collectors across the world. Every coin tells a story, and the 1988 D quarter is no exception. It's a lasting tribute to George Washington and a symbol of the values that define the United States of America. Keep collecting, stay curious, and see you in the next video. Next up, the 1989 P Washington quarter dollar is one of the remarkable coins of the late 20th century, representing both the enduring legacy of George Washington and the strength of American liberty. Minted at the Philadelphia Mint, This coin bears the P mint mark and was part of the long-running Washington Quarter series that began in 1932. The coin carries not only monetary value but also patriotic symbolism, as it celebrates unity, freedom, and the American spirit that has guided the nation for centuries. The Washington Quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States. The coin's design was created by sculptor John Flanagan, whose depiction of Washington on the obverse became one of the most iconic images in American coinage. By 1989, the Washington Quarter had already seen over 5 decades of circulation, making it one of the longest-running designs in U.S. coin history. The 1989 P quarter continued the standard design used since the early 1980s. On the obverse, it features a profile of George Washington facing left, with the word liberty inscribed above his head and the motto, "In God We Trust," on the left. The date 1989 is positioned below the bust, and the mint mark P can be found just behind the ribbon of Washington's ponytail. This simple yet dignified design reflects the unity and liberty upon which the United States was founded. On the reverse side, the coin features an eagle with wings spread proudly, clutching a bundle of arrows in its talons, symbolizing strength and readiness to defend freedom. Below the eagle are 2 olive branches representing peace. Above the eagle, the words United States of America and E pluribus unum, out of many one, remind Americans of the unity that binds a nation together. This design made the Washington Quarter a timeless symbol of America's values. The 1989 Washington Quarter was composed of a clad combination of copper and nickel, with a copper core and a nickel outer layer. The total weight of the coin is 5.67 grams, and it measures 24.3 millimeters in diameter. The composition and specifications remain consistent with all quarters made since 1965, when the U.S. Mint transitioned from silver to the modern copper-nickel-clad alloy, to save costs and adapt to the rising price of silver. In 1989, the Philadelphia Mint produced an impressive total of 512,868,000 quarters. This large mintage makes the 1989 P quarter a common coin in circulation, yet pristine uncirculated examples or error varieties can be quite valuable to collectors. The high mintage also reflects a robust economy and growing coin demand during the late 1980s, a period of strong consumer activity and economic expansion across the United States. Although the 1989 P quarter was a circulation strike intended for everyday use, it also holds collector interest due to the possibility of minting errors and varieties. Some known examples include off-center strikes, die cracks, and double die obverse or reverses. These rare mistakes can dramatically increase a coin's value, sometimes transforming an ordinary 25-cent piece into a collectible worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. For coin collectors, the condition of a 1989 P quarter plays a crucial role in determining its value. Circulated coins usually hold only face value, but coins in mint state, MS grades, particularly MS 66 and above, can fetch premium prices. Coins graded by professional services like PGS or NGC are often preferred by serious collectors who seek guaranteed authenticity and preservation. In pristine, uncirculated condition, the 1989 P Washington Quarter can be worth anywhere from $10 to $100 or more, depending on the grade and luster. Rare error coins, such as those struck on experimental planchets or with double designs, can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars in coin auctions. These coins highlight how a small variation during minting can turn a common quarter into a hidden treasure. The 1989 P quarter also marks an interesting time in U.S. numismatic history because it came just a decade before a major change, the introduction of the state quarters program in 1999. Collectors often see the 1989 issues as part of the final generation of traditional eagle back quarters before the design shifted to showcase each state's unique history and culture. From a historical perspective, the 1989 P quarter symbolizes continuity and tradition. It connects the early 20th century design era with the modern numismatic world. Even though millions were produced, every coin carries the same message of liberty and unity that the founding fathers envisioned. In this sense, each quarter serves as a small piece of American heritage passed through countless hands. The Philadelphia Mint, where the 1989 P quarters were struck, has long been the heart of U.S. coinage. Established in 1792, it stands as the oldest and one of the most productive mints in the nation. By 1989, the facility had perfected the art of high-speed, high-quality coin production, using advanced machinery capable of minting hundreds of coins per minute with remarkable precision. Collectors today often seek the 1989 P. Washington Quarter as part of a complete date and mint mark collection spanning the entire Washington Quarter series. Because it represents the classic eagle reverse design before the era of commemorative quarters, it holds nostalgic value among longtime numismatists. Many consider a coin that bridges the classic and modern eras of American coinage. In cultural terms, the 1989 P quarter also reflects the American ideals of liberty and unity during a time of global change. The late 1980s saw the end of the Cold War and a renewed sense of optimism in the United States. The words United States of America and E pluribus unum on the quarter remind citizens of the shared national values that unite people from all walks of life. So, the 1989 P. Washington Quarter is more than just a piece of metal. It is a tribute to the enduring legacy of George Washington, the unity of the American people, and the timeless symbol of liberty. Whether you find one in your pocket change or in a collector's showcase, this quarter carries history, meaning, and value that extends far beyond its 25-cent face. It's a reminder that even small coins can hold big stories of American pride and freedom. Thanks for watching and learning about this historical 1989 P. Washington Quarter, a true symbol of American unity and liberty.